Welcome to Zero to Start, a podcast about XR development that brings you inspiring conversations with creators, developers, and industry leaders. I'm your host, SICILIANA. On today's episode, Dominique Wu, founder of XReality Pro, shares why beginners need to position themselves as problem solvers who are adaptable in a world that relies on AI more every day. Dominique designs, builds, and teaches immersive tech that empowers people and transforms realities in XR and AI. Dominique has consulted for Meta and Walmart and is the author of Spatial Design, Breaking the 2D Paradigm. Dominique has hosted over 500 speaker events across her media channels, including her XReality Pro YouTube channel, where you can find her XR tutorials and her XReality podcast. A passionate educator, Dominique publishes courses on Udemy, and later in the show, she'll tell us all about her latest course, The Ultimate AI Pipeline for XR Development, which takes you from zero to hero in creating your first interactive XR app based on Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven. Be sure to check the show notes for a special discount to the course and other goodies from today's show. Zero to Start is now on YouTube. Subscribe to us there and on your favorite podcast platform. Let's get started. Dominique, welcome to the podcast. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
I wanted to start with your journey in XR and the things you're passionate about in the space.
Yeah, the reason why I get into XR is because I love to kind of like an immersive experience. And before I was a graphic designer and then switched to UX UI designer. And I remember back in 2015, like 10 years ago, I joined a game jam. It was in USC. And I was an artist. I used Illustrator to create the entire game level. And during that time, I just fall in love with like Unity, how powerful it is. After that, I started to realize that, wow, I only know Illustrator. It's like I can create a static art. However, I couldn't make it move. I couldn't make an interaction. So that's why I think from 2015, that game jam, I start self-taught Unity. And during that time, Unity had a lot of tutorial, and they had a lot of like YouTuber that create content teaching Unity. So I start learning Unity back in 2016, 17. And during that time, I knew the best way to learn is to teach because all my families, they are all teachers. So actually, I start helping kind of teaching as a TA when I was 7 years old to help my mom. My mom taught first graders. So I don't like to learn something and be quiet because I feel like there is no motivation. I like to learn things and I like to explain to people, probably because of my personality when I was very young. I get used to if I know something I like to share. That's kind of embedded in my DNA, my entire family. So that's why I create a YouTube channel, which I feel like if I know something, I want to upload as a video and for people to learn it. So that's kind of starting my journey as a creator, building a community. Before I actually didn't even think I want to build a community. I learned something and I want to test it out whether I know it or not. And I create a video. And I think my video didn't rock. Nobody watched until I start Spark AR tutorial. If you go to my YouTube channel, XReality Academy, you can see probably the most popular videos are Spark AR tutorial. I know Spark AR is already, being being closed, but I think those experience really helps me to learn quick. So I like to announce that in 1 week I'm going to publish a tutorial very similar to Amazon. Amazon, I remember Amazon had a couple of books talking about how they run their business. One way is called backward, which means that a lot of people start from research, right? And then start doing product, prototype, user testing. Amazon's way is more like a starting with PR. They have idea and they start announcing to the public like, oh, in 3 months we are going to launch this feature. And this feature nobody has worked on it, but they have concept and they're directly, to the end. Because usually when you have something and you finish it, you do PR, right? They do the backward. They do PR first. And they want to see whether people like it or not. If people don't like it, they just kill it. Nobody cares anyway. So I think this is brilliant. I did that, the same thing. For example, Vision Pro, I remember Vision Pro just announced back in 2023, right? And then right after I told myself I want to learn it, I had no idea how it worked, how to develop it. But I told everybody on my LinkedIn who follow me, I said that in a month, Saturday, I'm going to launch my workshop. And that was the first one because nobody dared to teach. Nobody knows what's that. And I just told everybody, announced, and I even charged like 99 USD dollars. I just charged, and I was like, who will buy it? I'm just curious. If nobody buy it, it's great. I don't need to, I don't need to torture. I just want to, it's like, if I got sales, then I will learn it. It's totally the very dangerous way to do things. And I find out 7 people purchased it after a week. And I was like, okay, people really want that. And I think I got another one consultation opportunity with another pretty, high level person in a very high end company. This really helps me to know what people want because you see, if you create a workshop and people sign up, people pay, right? And you know that there's a market, right? And you have to, work really hard. I feel like that's kind of like my motivation sometimes. But I think building up, the trust between you and your audience is very important. Maybe you need to do some, building trust. You need to constantly deliver what you said, and people trust you, people like you. Maybe that's need to be first. And second, you can start doing more like pre-order, right? Like my book, I did a lot of pre-order stuff. So I think it's all about who you want to position yourself. And also, if you see recently, my LinkedIn title is called I Design, I Build, and I Teach AI and XR, something like that. Because I always ask myself, what do I want to do? Because I feel like I like so many things. I find out if I am in the kind of like a circle of design, build, and more like building community, sharing whatever I learn, coaching, mentoring. If I am in this loop, I'm happy. So sometimes it's not like, oh, I have to build a successful product on my own. If I can do that, it would be awesome. But it's more like if I can immerse myself in this types of environment and I'm happy. So I didn't really confine my role to be like producer or developer, UX, UI designer, but I would say that as long as you keep doing what you're doing and you are happy, I know sometimes you won't get whatever you want, but go towards the, I would say, frequency or environment where people needs you and a unique you and like what you produce and you feel happy to be around with those people. Yeah, I think it's like as long as you are happy and whatever you do kind of benefit other people, it doesn't really matter what you do. And right now, I think the most important thing everybody need to learn, including myself, is not putting yourself in a certain role. It's very dangerous because I know that in the past we do a lot of things that I'm a designer. I only do design. I'm a developer. I only do development. I am a business person. I only do business. I cannot do any other stuff. I think right now we need to change ourselves to be problem solver. Whatever problems, let me know. I can help you. You need to be flexible to learn a lot of different things. For example, like one of my clients needs a certain types of development skills, and I can tell you I didn't know that. But recently, I kind of get into tutorials and start learning it. And I find out that actually it's not as hard as we thought. So I think probably pretty much in probably a month, I can start, working on some development that I haven't touched before. And I think AI really helps me because, for example, if I have a bug, I just put it in ChatGPT and it's pretty much doing really well. So I think with AI, we can position ourselves as a problem solver. We can use any AI tools to help our client solve the problem. We don't have to say, I'm a developer, I'm a business person. So I think the opportunity is, I would say, infinite. I know there's another side that is very sad, like, oh, AI took my job. But think about that. If you think yourself as a cyborg, right? You plus super collective intelligence, and you can easily access. You are much, powerful, right? Because AI, this trend is not reversible. You just have to accept it and move on and see how you can utilize this technology to do your best.
I'm struck by what you're saying around building the relationship and seeing what people want first, and then adapting yourself and your skills to that. So, how do you manage not over promising and under delivering? Or do you?
It's interesting that I think with I feel like you can do a lot. For example, like I usually do the opposite. Even it's interesting. For example, like Vision Pro, right? I create a workshop 1 or 2 months right after Vision Pro release. Nobody really know what to do, right? And I put a very bold move, very bold, because it's very scary. What if you couldn't deliver? But I think that's also a strong motivation that I'm so scared I screw up. I am so eager. And sometimes that eagerness to learn and to not letting other people disappointed and make you kind of become what you say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So actually, I fulfill, not only the person who hired me to mentor him, and he is actually a web developer in a very big company, and I'm mentoring. Yeah, and he gave me a project, and I think I successfully delivered. And he said, for the technical side, it's fine. He just want to know like the part, and a lot of parts since Apple didn't really. It's like they moved too fast, and they didn't have time to update their documentation. So I even kind of did like a hackathon way and trying to knock it out. And because of that workshop, I even joined in person Cupertino workshop. I remember every month they have one like an in-person workshop in their headquarters for developer. Because of that, I even went there and really, really dive in and ask developer questions. So I think I'm pretty good in adaptive learning, which means that since I have coding background and now I have AI, I feel much more confident. I can tell you pretty much a lot of things. I can just look up things and trying to figure it out. Sometimes the thing between you and an expert is just a couple of tutorials.
You're sort of hacking the process, shortening the distance between who you are and who you're becoming.
Yeah, for example, like in 3 months, who you want to become, or in 5 years, who you want to become, right? And then, yeah, for me, I finally realized that I want to design, build, and teach. As long as whatever thing that I'm doing is involving those three, I'm happy. And in XR, AI, or any other tech form.
As someone who is a beginner or likes to think like a beginner, how did you gain that clarity?
I love helping people. You can definitely check out my YouTube channel, a lot of learning material. I usually tell my student or people who around me as a student, I usually tell them that if you want to enter as a beginner, want to learn from somebody, try not to position yourself as somebody who I just want to learn. You should upgrade it to what I can offer. For example, like, hey, you have a podcast. I can, help you to, edit and teach me. I can help you something, and along the way you can learn, right? And if you help me, I can definitely do something helping you, right? So don't position yourself as a beginner. Position yourself as somebody who can help others, who is so powerful, not sitting there waiting somebody to feed you, not like a baby, like, I need you to do this for me, not like that. You need to know what other people want. Give whatever other people want, and byproduct is that you can learn. Don't think yourself as a beginner. Think yourself as that everybody has his own problems. And if you see big people in the industry, we can see a lot of really big people. And I can tell you those people what they need. They need marketing. If they have a successful business, they need marketing. And you have a unique own marketing resource, which is your audience, right? You can always, help them, partner with them, and say, hey, you have anything, tag me, I can share to my audience.
What are some of the core design principles that inspire you or that build the foundation of your work?
I would say user first. If you remember what I mentioned to you, like, and I usually say, don't position yourself as a beginner. You are always good at something that people are not so good, right? So use that as a getting into industry point, finding people who need your that service combined with what you want to learn. If you want to get into XR industry, right? You find out there's a unique point that you can contribute and use that and keep saying, I can add value to your company.
It's more of like a mindset of getting started. Like when you start something, you might not know everything,
Yeah.
you might not have everything, but
Yeah.
it resonates more with like the perfectionist
Oh, yeah.
who
Yeah.
hesitates to start anything if I don't know or have some sense of certainty about what the outcome will be. And that's just not a guarantee anywhere, but let alone a technology that's shifting every other day.
Yeah. I mean, beginner mindset, which means that I always want to learn and I'm humble. I think that part is great. And yeah, I would say treat yourself as listener, right? You listen what other people said. You can definitely, suggesting, but you need to identify what's your client's problem or what your client needs, and you provide a need for that person, no matter what you do, right? And then you will learn something along the way. So, I mean, we are all beginner in some places, but I would try to emphasize my strength. So yeah, so I think it's an exciting time, and I think the teachers need to teach students instead of not using AI, but also how to use AI right, and everybody will be really powerful. And we wanna find who we wanna be, and we surrounded with us in the place that we can be ourselves. I think that's pretty successful. Yeah.
I did want to get to your experiences with the Apple Vision Pro. Were you following the news of the developer conference? What are your thoughts on the AVP going forward?
I think right now AVP is a little bit slow, and you see like Apple's recently announcement is just a glassy UI. I didn't watch the entire thing, but as far as I know, I'm very disappointed because the glassy one is just, I think, overkilling. So Apple is losing the innovative leading position in the tech. However, they are really good in experience design. So I would say for AVP, it's more like a design system it's being, still leading, the design. However, the actual scenario or actual being adaptable by people, audience, I don't really know whether they still get the leading position. But I would say maybe, Meta, right? Or like HTC Vive. I mean, I saw a couple of things very active in Vive and Snapchat, right? Niantic, right? A couple of big players, they did really good job. Apple definitely has its own strength, but I think for the innovative part, leading position might be not as strong as before. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, it's interesting. The longer the headset has been out, I have been wanting to work with it more and more. What's your take on the expansion of mixed reality and Android XR coming out? All of this innovation and announcements, is it all noise or is there something really going on?
Android XR really show us what a smart glass can do and what mixed reality can do. I think they are, I don't know, on TikTok or something. They are on stage. I saw the two demos. One is within like a more like a Orion look like a normal glass, in which can remember everything. Is pretty much AI assistant, intelligent assistant helping everything around you. I do think that there are a lot of opportunities for those to be more like an everyday life that we need it, right? I think display, as long as it's not disrupting our life, it's sometimes it might be really helpful. For example, translation, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think a certain scenario it's really good. However, for example, I remember one time I had a podcast with Charlie Fink. He said that not everything need a display, and a lot of people want to get rid of the glass, right? I did LASIK to get rid of my glass, so not everyone likes to wear glass every day. And besides, for example, I like to eat hot noodles, and when I wear my glass and eat hot noodles, guess what? There are, fogs on your glass. It's yeah, nobody really likes to wear glass. So how can we utilize this technology in the right way? For example, he mentioned that when you drive, you don't want the actual Google Map display on your glass. That's a little too much,
Hmm.
right? And sometimes you just need to listen to what we have right now. We have a phone and there's a Google Map on the display, and we just look at that a while and go back to drive. A use case for those AR glass, I think, for example, like a training, education, those two definitely helps because for the knowledge, I remember there was a number like a 70 or 90% of the knowledge learning is still visual, right? So those headsets will definitely help with training, proper training, healthcare, and also maybe military education. Those are pretty good. So I wouldn't say that everybody will have a glass and wear every day, right? We probably still have 2D some device like a phone, but we have another option to wear. I saw AWE that there are a lot of glass, right? Kind of display glass
Hmm.
everywhere. So those types of glass will be really helpful for people who really need those glass to be in their scenario.
I wanted to talk about your new Udemy course, The Ultimate AI Pipeline for XR Development.
I always want to do something. I always like to self-taught like Unity, and also always give myself a little bit deadline and challenge to do some app or development. And I like to publish to the store because it's fun and it feels fulfilling. So last year I gave myself a challenge, which was turn Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven, into a VR experience. It was an 11-minute experience, and then after I finished it, I find out that wow, I use AI for my entire pipeline. And I remember last year I also taught a class called Coding for Designer and Artists, for Kenyatta Community College. And during that time, I told myself that, wow, I told students how to use AI to integrate inside their pipeline. I really, really enjoy the progress and students from zero to hero, they can create a really, really nice game. And I was impressed by how powerful AI is. So that time I was teaching more like 2D. And I remember a lot of students told me that they want to learn XR. And I remember during that time, my supervisor told me that, oh, we need to purchase how many, like 20 headset or something. Yeah, and we need to, each headset need a phone, right? It's not easy for a school to, purchase such a huge amount of headset and upgrade everything for a course. So that's why I was like, hey, maybe I can just create on Udemy, right? If my student wants it, I can, give them coupon code and they can get one. Because sometimes if you want to get through all the approval in the educational institute, it's like, oh, I want to teach something, but you need to get approval. And after approval, it probably a year later, right?
Right.
Yeah. And on Udemy, I can publish anytime. So I'm like a little rebel. I'm just like, okay, I just create a course, right? And then I share with a community college, the teacher, everybody. And I say, hey, if you want to access the course, contact me. I will give you like coupon or something, right? So you can learn. So that's kind of my motivation, which means that I figure out the entire pipeline. And I also want to teach in community college, but the process takes a very long time and layers of approval. And I'm not a big fan of waiting. So if I have an idea, I just do it. So yeah, so that's why I created that course.
Fantastic. And that's on Udemy. We'll be sure to have a link in the show notes. It looks really comprehensive in building out this app. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're making in the course?
Yeah, during the course, you will learn all the pipelines such as 11 Labs, Suno, ChatGPT, trailers, all the setup, everything using AI, create assets, and also how to set up your quest. Because I can tell you right now, I couldn't really find any, everything updates so fast. Maybe there's a new YouTube tutorial, but a lot of quests are set up is all outdated. So I was even trying to learn the new updates and did as detailed as possible to record the entire process, including what types of apps, how you sync, how you use meta building blocks to create your first mixed-reality app. Everything I was trying to explain as detailed as possible. So, and including how to upload to SideQuest to publish your first game. So from knowing nothing, using all the AI tools, to set up your headset for development opportunity, and to vibe coding, and to at the end you publish your first mixed reality game. So this entire very long big process, you can pretty much within 15 video lecture, you can pretty much finish and publish your first game. That's my intention from zero to hero. Yeah.
Excellent. And then, so you said 15 lecture videos. How long averaged?
Yeah, it's probably 5 hours total for the videos.
Nice. Okay. Well, I look forward to digging into that a little more. And for our listeners, you said we could have a discount code.
Yes.
It does have an expiration date on that discount code, but if we need to refresh that, we can just get in touch with you.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. Well, I look forward to featuring that in the show notes. That's really cool. Thanks for doing that. Do you have any final thoughts that you wanted to share, or some activities that you're looking forward to over the summer?
I think I keep learning, keep sharing, and I just keep doing what I believe and keep learning new stuff and helping my clients. So yeah, that's my goal. Yeah.
Well, thanks. This has been really inspiring, and I'm so glad to finally get in touch with you. I see you on LinkedIn frequently sharing all of your resources. And so I did also want to give a shout out to your book, Spatial Design, Breaking the 2D Paradigm. We'll have a link to that in the show notes as well.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me. Feel free to reach out if you are interested in any aspects or anything. Let me know.
So I can't help but wonder, who do we want to be in 3 months? How can we leverage AI to position ourselves as solution providers across leading XR use cases or causes that we're passionate about? If Dominique isn't waiting on her ideas, neither should we. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, be sure to connect with us on our LinkedIn page. You can support Zero to Start by subscribing to us on our YouTube channel or your favorite podcast platform. Give us a rating, share this episode with your community, and connect with us on LinkedIn. Until next time, happy installing.